These folks had something to do with it, bro. These folks don't know that Jook put a hit out, bro.
That line has been echoing across Memphis.
Demonstrations are boiling over across Memphis after a mural dedicated to rapper Young Dolph is vandalized.
Tonight, police are looking for a white Ford Explorer SUV in connection with the
Whispered in barbershops, group chats, and late-night conversations as the city tries to make sense of what just happened. While Yo Gotti is publicly grieving the devastating loss of his brother, Big Jook, the harsh truth is this: the people responsible are still out there. No arrests, no charges, no court dates, just silence where answers should be. And that silence has only made the speculation louder.
Video of the arrest of one of the men accused in Young Dolph's murder. Last night we told you Cornelius Smith was arrested in South Haven a month ago. Police picked him up on a warrant for an alleged carjacking involving that white Mercedes that was used in Dolph's.
Everybody in Memphis seems to have their own theory about which crew could be behind the attack. Some point fingers quietly, others argue non-stop online. But officially, nothing has been confirmed. And that's where things get even crazier, because internet investigators believe they stumbled onto something major.
Well, at least 5 police sources have confirmed with Fox 13 that the person killed is Anthony Mims, also known as Big Jook. Now, Big Jook is the brother of rapper Yo Gotti.
Mims was shot in the parking lot of Pernod's Restaurant and Event Center.
Screenshots, timelines, old posts, and connections are being picked apart piece by piece, and people are asking the same question over and over. Who really wanted Big Jook gone, and why did it happen right when it did?
Daughter, she was also a rapper, but she was in Houston in September.
Yeah, she went by a lot of cash Desto, but her real name, Destiny Govin. Houston police say the 25-year-old was killed in Houston September 24th, early that morning.
Hours before everything went left, Big Jook jumped on Instagram and dropped what now feels like a chilling warning. He posted a photo with a caption that read, "They don't want to face you. They want to snake you. Stay alert too. Stay alive. Watch your back at all times. Put snakes on the plate and eat great." At the time, some brushed it off as street wisdom, but looking back, that message hit different. It sounded like someone who knew danger was close, and tragically, it became his final post. It was a bright Saturday afternoon when tragedy struck.
A high-profile gang member was killed in a shooting in Orange Mound this afternoon. This is according to family members who tell us Joshua Taylor was named a person of interest in the Young Dolph case back in February of 2022.
Big Jook, known for helping run Yo Gotti's label, Collective Music Group, showed up dressed sharp in a black suit to attend a funeral on Winchester Road in the 6300 block. He was there to honor his late uncle Eric Bone, a respected name in the neighborhood's history. Eric Bone, once a well-known Memphis figure back in the 1980s, had deep family ties to both Big Jook and Yo Gotti. And his passing marked the end of an era for a lot of people. The repast at Peon's Restaurant and Event Center was supposed to be calm. A moment to share memories, comfort family, and pay respect to a life that mattered.
A major break in the murder of Memphis rapper Young Dolph. U.S. Marshals announcing the man you see on your screen here, 23-year-old Justin Johnson, is wanted for first-degree murder and violating parole. There is a $15,000 reward being offered for his capture.
The room was heavy with emotion, sadness mixed with reflection. But nobody expected what was waiting outside. As people began to leave, everything changed in seconds. Loud bursts shattered the quiet. Panic exploded through the crowd as confusion took over. What started as mourning turned into chaos instantly, and fear sent people running in every direction. Within moments, Big Jook's life was heartbreakingly cut short, leaving shock and disbelief behind. Videos from the aftermath spread fast online, showing fragments of the chaos and helping piece together what happened.
I don't paint no beside too real with a in the middle, man. Y'all don't do that, man. Don't about legacy. So right here.
When first responders arrived, they were met with a devastating scene. Big Jook was motionless, gone far too soon. The news ripped through Memphis like wildfire, leaving fans, friends, and artists flooding social media with emotional tributes and disbelief. Around 4:15 p.m., officers were alerted, but even now, the biggest questions remain unanswered. Who did this? Who knew what? And how much was seen coming before it was already too late? A serious incident unfolded near 6385 Winchester.
One of the men involved in the death of Young Dolph pleads guilty to accessory after the fact.
Prosecutors say Jamarcus handed over the cell phone and identified one of the shooters. He also agreed to testify against his brother if called.
And once officers arrived, the situation was already critical. Police found a man suffering from severe injuries, and he was rushed straight to St. Francis Hospital, where doctors did everything they could. Sadly, he was later pronounced deceased, sending shockwaves through everyone connected to the scene. Not long after that, another man showed up at the same hospital in a private vehicle, listed in critical condition, which instantly raised more questions about how many people were really involved.
Govan asked for Young Dolph to be murdered.
Mr. Govan has been indicted and is in custody for being involved in the Young Dolph. He played the role of the person who solicited.
According to the official report, the Memphis Police Department moved fast and launched a full-scale investigation. During a press briefing, Paul Wright shared early details, making it clear this wasn't being taken lightly. He explained that detectives were reviewing surveillance footage from multiple angles, but at that point, no suspects had been named. Authorities were still trying to determine if this was the work of one person or a coordinated move involving multiple people. Deputy Chief Wright also revealed something that stopped a lot of people in their tracks. Early findings suggested Big Jook may have been deliberately targeted. That detail alone shifted the entire narrative, making it feel less random and more calculated. Even so, the motive remained unclear.
Man, ain't nothing. Nobody can tell me it ain't nothing I can do that'll make me feel better. I'm just be 100.
And police urged anyone with real information to step forward and help bring answers to a grieving family and a shaken community. Things shifted quickly the very next day. On Sunday, a few witnesses finally decided to speak up. One witness told officers they saw the people responsible leaving the area in a white SUV. The vehicle was described as a white Ford Explorer with black rims and dark-tinted windows, a specific detail that gave investigators something solid to chase. Surveillance footage soon became a major break. Cameras clearly captured images of a white SUV matching that description, giving police a strong piece of evidence to work with. But that wasn't all. Several funeral attendees told officers they noticed two men acting strangely inside the church. According to witnesses, those men sat quietly near the back, keeping their eyes on Big Jook the entire time. Even more unsettling, those same men reportedly slipped out early, long before most of the crowd began leaving. That detail instantly raised alarms and had people questioning what their real intentions were from the start. What made the situation even more heartbreaking was another report that surfaced. When the attack happened, Big Jook's mother was reportedly sitting in the back seat of the same vehicle. Whoever planned this didn't care who else could have been hurt. Their focus was clear, and that cold reality left people furious and shaken. So now the biggest question still hangs heavy. Who would want to harm Yo Gotti's brother? Just days later, social media added fuel to the fire when Young Dolph's cousin, known online as Paper Route Vicky, posted what people called a get back list. The list allegedly included names tied to old rivalries, and some online claimed that Old Boy and Old Boy Brother were nicknames linked to Yo Gotti and Big Jook. What really sent theories spiraling was that Old Boy Brother was reportedly marked off the list. That single detail had the internet buzzing, with people wondering if this tragedy was connected to long-standing music tensions that never truly faded. Beefs didn't just disappear after the loss, and judging by some of Paper Route Vicky's other posts, she clearly wasn't playing about getting justice for Young Dolph. Her tone was heavy, emotional, and direct, making it obvious she felt something unfinished was still hanging in the air. And she wasn't alone in that feeling at all. The grief hit especially hard for Key Glock, one of the artists closest to Dolph. His pain was written all over social media, even before he went completely silent. Not long after Dolph's passing, Key Glock deleted his Instagram and Twitter accounts, a move that spoke louder than any caption ever could. That silence showed just how deep the loss really cut. After disappearing for a while, Glock made a quiet return. Weeks later, he posted a message straight from the heart on his story, and it hit fans hard. "Stop trying to reach me. Stop asking if I'm okay." knowing full well I'm not. That one line said everything people needed to know about his state of mind. Key Glock, whose real name is Markavius Cathy, is Dolph's cousin by marriage, and their connection went way beyond music. Dolph brought him into the game back in 2017, signing him to Paper Route Empire. Together, they built something real, dropping the hit project Dumb and Dumber in 2019, followed by Dumb and Dumber 2 in 2021. Their bond wasn't industry politics, it was family first. A few days later, Glock found the strength to post a tribute that left fans emotional everywhere. Damn bro, I'm lost. My heart is torn. My brain about to explode. It hurts when I breathe. While you leave me so soon, I'll never be the same. He didn't hold anything back. He was my left-hand man, my brother, my cousin, my mentor, and my drinking partner. But one part of that message really stopped people in their tracks. Glock continued, "There's nothing anyone can do or say to bring you back. And that eats me up by the second. It was Phil Jackson and I was your MJ." Then came the line that had social media buzzing. "Remember I told you I got your back no matter what?" I guarantee that. Fans instantly read between the lines, feeling like Glock was making a promise that Dolph's name wouldn't be forgotten. Around the same time, Big Jook went on Instagram to voice his anger about a street mural featuring multiple Memphis artists, including NLE Choppa, Moneybagg Yo, and Young Dolph. He didn't hide how he felt at all. That mural reopened wounds and showed that tension between camps was still very much alive. Even after Dolph's passing, negativity kept following his name. Things got worse when a mural dedicated to Dolph was vandalized, leaving fans across the city furious and disappointed. And then another twist surfaced. Authorities later revealed that Big Jook's name had been mentioned in discussions connected to Young Dolph's case. It's just 9 days after the tragic loss, adding another heavy layer to an already explosive situation. After the tragic event that rocked Memphis on December 9th, police finally made their first serious move, and it came fast. Cornelia Smith was taken into custody after a routine traffic stop in South Haven, Mississippi, a moment that would quietly crack the case open. Smith was reportedly arrested on an auto theft warrant tied to a stolen white Mercedes-Benz, a vehicle investigators believed played a key role in what happened to Young Dolph. At first, South Haven police kept Smith's connection under wraps, but once that information surfaced, the entire city felt the shockwave. As investigators across state lines kept digging, more names began to surface, and the pressure only intensified. Then, on January 5th, 2022, exactly 7 weeks after Dolph's passing, the Memphis Police Department dropped a major update that changed everything. Authorities announced they had issued a warrant for Justin Johnson in connection with the case, sending the internet into a frenzy. Justin Johnson, better known in the rap scene as Straight Drop, was a local Memphis rapper who instantly became the main suspect. Fans online started connecting dots almost immediately. People noticed that the same white Mercedes-Benz allegedly used as the getaway car appeared in one of his music videos titled "Going Straight." The video was quickly deleted, but by then it was too late. Screenshots, clips, and breakdowns were already everywhere, and serious questions started flying. Things escalated even further when the United States Marshals Service stepped in. They announced $2,500 Australian dollars reward for information leading to Johnson's arrest and officially placed him on the most wanted list. Authorities warned the public that he should be considered dangerous, raising the stakes even higher. Then came the moment nobody expected. Johnson posted a message on his Instagram story that felt almost unreal. "Turning myself in Monday at 201, I'm innocent. I'll be back sooner than you can blink." The 201 he mentioned referred to 201 Poplar, the well-known jail in Memphis. People waited, watching closely, expecting him to surrender. But instead of turning himself in, Johnson flipped the script. On January 10th, he dropped a brand new music video titled "Trapped Out," shocking everyone following the case. Almost immediately after releasing it, his Instagram account vanished, either deleted or deactivated, leaving fans and investigators confused and suspicious. Not long after, the story took another sharp turn. Johnson was eventually captured and brought before a court to face charges connected to the case. Soon after that, another name entered the spotlight. Chandale Barnett was arrested in Indiana, accused of helping Johnson avoid capture. Barnett faced charges tied to assisting after the incident and attempting to help him escape law enforcement. And just when people thought the list was complete, authorities revealed another bombshell. A fourth suspect, 43-year-old Hernandez Govin, was also taken into custody. Investigators allege that Govin was the one who coordinated the entire plot behind Young Dolph's tragic passing, pushing the case into an even darker and more serious direction. The arrest of Hernandez Govin flipped the entire story upside down almost overnight. As soon as the news broke, rumors exploded online after a photo resurfaced showing Big Jook standing next to Govin. That single image spread fast across social media, pushing people to believe the two were far closer than anyone had ever publicly admitted. Some even went as far as claiming Govin was Big Jook's right-hand man, someone deeply trusted behind the scenes. Whether true or not, that idea sent theories into overdrive, and the internet ran with it hard. Things escalated even more when whispers started circulating that Big Jook had allegedly offered a large sum of money, around $40,000, connected to targeting Young Dolph. The rumor claimed he allegedly reached out to someone close to him, who then connected with others willing to carry it out. None of these claims were ever officially proven, but that didn't stop the conversation from growing louder every single day. Online detectives painted a picture of a feud that had gone way past music, driven by pride, history, and emotions that never cooled down. Fans could clearly see that the circles around Yo Gotti, Big Jook, and Young Dolph were tangled in something much deeper than rap rivalries. Dolph's family and supporters were still grieving heavily, while the streets buzzed with talk that retaliation was inevitable. People felt like another tragedy was only a matter of time, and sadly that fear didn't stay a rumor for long. One of the first devastating losses that followed was the death of Govin's own daughter, rising Memphis rapper Lotta Cash Desto. Her real name was Destiny Govin, and she was just 25 years old, with her whole future ahead of her. On September 24, 2022, her life was cut short during a shocking incident in Houston, Texas. Early that morning, around 2:30 a.m., Lotta Cash was driving a Porsche SUV with a 20-year-old woman riding with her. While stopped at a red light, a four-door sedan pulled up beside them. Moments later, the situation exploded into violence, leaving Lotta Cash fatally wounded and her passenger seriously injured. Reports later stated that Lotta Cash tried to defend herself when her vehicle came under attack. She allegedly returned fire and even managed to hit one of the attackers before things took a tragic turn. Sadly, she was struck multiple times and did not survive the scene. The young woman riding with her was rushed to a nearby hospital after being hit once and thankfully survived. The news hit fans across the country hard, especially those who had been watching Lotta Cash's music career start to take off. Not long after, Hernandez Govin took to Instagram with a heartbreaking message mourning his daughter. He wrote, "I think I cursed you, Destiny, with my lifestyle. I apologize, baby." Those words crushed people everywhere and showed the weight of guilt and pain he was carrying. At the same time, that post fueled even more online speculation, with some questioning whether Lotta Cash's death could somehow be connected to her father's alleged role in Young Dolph's case. Nothing was ever confirmed, but the questions wouldn't stop. And tragically, Lotta Cash wasn't the only person tied to these circles to lose their life. As tensions continued simmering beneath the surface, another Memphis figure, known for publicly speaking harshly about Young Dolph, was reportedly killed in a separate attack, proving that the fallout from this feud was still far from over. That man was Joshua Taylor, better known on the streets as CEO Tezzy, and his passing stunned the entire city. His death left friends in disbelief and investigators scrambling for answers, as Memphis once again tried to process another loss tied to an already painful chapter. People who knew Joshua described him as a familiar face in the Memphis street scene, someone who had built strong connections but also picked up enemies along the way. As news spread, whispers started circling almost immediately. Many questioned whether this was truly random or if something deeper was at play. Some believed Joshua's death might have been connected to the same unresolved tensions surrounding the tragic loss of Young Dolph. No proof ever confirmed that theory, but in a city already on edge, those suspicions refused to fade. Joshua Taylor's story didn't begin with headlines or investigations. Born and raised in Memphis, he grew up surrounded by challenges that came with his environment. Still, he carried big dreams, especially when it came to music. His confidence, personality, and natural presence made him stand out, and wherever he went, people noticed. As time passed, his name started buzzing more and more around the city. With rising popularity came bigger circles. Joshua found himself brushing shoulders with some of Memphis's most recognizable figures. Attending high-profile parties and exclusive events where connections were everything, he built a reputation. But behind the shine, there was a complicated side to his story that few truly understood. By February 2022, Joshua Taylor's name unexpectedly surfaced in connection with the investigation into young Dolph's passing. Dolph, whose real name was Adolph Robert Thornton Jr., had lost his life during a tragic incident while visiting Makeda's Cookies, a local bakery deeply rooted in the community. The loss shook Memphis and sent shockwaves through the entire hip-hop world. Authorities later identified Joshua as a person of interest in the case. They were careful with their wording, making it clear he was not charged and not officially labeled a suspect. Investigators believed he might have had information relevant to what happened that day or possibly knew something about people connected to the incident. As detectives continued digging, they discovered Joshua had a complicated relationship with Justin Johnson, also known by his rap name Straight Drop. The two were said to have moved in similar circles, and some believe Joshua may have known details about the events leading up to that day. Whether he was directly involved or simply caught between forces much bigger than him was never proven. Joshua's name became another heavy layer in a story that refused to leave Memphis alone. Even though he had been named a person of interest, he was never formally charged with anything. Authorities made it clear they were seeking answers, not making accusations. They believed Joshua might have known something critical, possibly even information related to Justin Johnson's whereabouts at the time. Detectives worked relentlessly, hoping Joshua could help piece together missing details that still haunted the case. But while the Young Dolph investigation continued to dominate headlines and stir emotion across the city, tragedy struck again in the most unexpected way. One night, Joshua Taylor's life was suddenly cut short, adding another name to a growing list of losses. His death left more questions than answers, and deepened the sense that Memphis was trapped in a cycle of grief, speculation, and unresolved pain that no one could escape. His death was sudden, heartbreaking, and still hard for many in Memphis to fully process. Joshua Taylor passed away following a tragic incident, and his body was discovered the next morning, a grim discovery that shook the community to its core. Family members were left devastated, while friends and associates struggled to understand how yet another life connected to this growing web had been lost so quickly. The mystery surrounding Joshua's passing only made tensions worse. Almost immediately, people began asking the same uncomfortable question. Was this connected to the Young Dolph case? Or was it something entirely separate? Investigators stayed quiet, refusing to fuel speculation. But in the streets and online, many felt it looked like a chain reaction, one incident triggering another. To a lot of people, it felt like the fallout from Dolph's passing still had dainty stopped echoing through Memphis. The pain, the anger, the unresolved questions, all of it seemed to be feeding into something bigger and darker. And just when things appeared to slow down, another major development shook the case. In June 2023, authorities revealed that Yamarcus Johnson, one of the suspects tied to Dolph's passing, had reached a plea deal. He agreed to plead guilty to 3 counts related to assisting after the incident. In exchange, prosecutors dropped a major charge, and Yamarcus was expected to testify against the remaining defendants during upcoming trials. That move instantly changed the entire landscape of the case. Many believed his testimony could finally bring clarity to one of Memphis's most talked-about tragedies. People hoped it might reveal who was really behind the plot and whether it was connected to the long-simmering feud involving Dolph and Yo Gotti's camp. To understand how things reached this point, you have to rewind to the early days of the Memphis rap scene, a city packed with raw talent, pride, and ambition. For years, Yo Gotti held the crown, dominating both local streets and national charts with hits like I Know and Down in the DM. As his fame exploded, he built a powerhouse label, Collective Music Group, turning it into a full-blown empire. Then came Young Dolph. Bold, fearless, and determined to do things his own way. In 2008, Dolph launched Paper Route Empire, betting everything on independence. His unmatched hustle, sharp lyrics, and confidence made him one of the most talked-about names in Memphis. And he did it without leaning on major industry backing. By collaborating with major artists like Gucci Mane, Dolph pushed his movement even further. By 2015, his fanbase had exploded, His music was everywhere, and suddenly he was standing toe-to-toe with Yo Gotti himself. That's when the tension became impossible to ignore. Two dominant Memphis figures, both claiming their place at the top, were now in direct competition. Neither side was backing down. By 2016, the rivalry spilled into music, interviews, and social media. Fans could feel the tension in every line and every post. Young Dolph, known for speaking his mind, never shied away from sharing how he felt. According to Dolph, the tension started when he turned down an offer to sign with CMG. He wanted to stay independent and prove he could build an empire on his own terms. From Dolph's side, it seemed like that rejection hit Gotti personally, and that's when the bad blood truly began. That moment became a turning point. Dolph's King of Memphis' album symbolized his claim to the city and poured gasoline on an already heated rivalry. From there, the divide only grew deeper, setting the stage for a feud that would eventually leave scars far beyond music, scars Memphis is still trying to heal from today. Many fans were shocked when Young Dolph claimed the title King of Memphis. For years, that crown had been closely associated with Yo Gotti, even though Gotti didn't respond right away. Still, the Memphis rap scene felt it immediately. Dolph's album title landed like a direct challenge, splitting the city straight down the middle. Some stood firmly with Gotti, while others saw Dolph as the fearless new voice carving out his own lane. At first, Dolph actually tried to cool things down. During a February 2016 radio interview, he gave Gotti credit for showing him support early on. Dolph explained that calling himself King of Memphis wasn't meant as a shot at anyone. To him, it was about confidence, pride, and how he and his team viewed their own movement. Kings of their own world, building something independent and real. But that calm didn't last long. Tension reignited when Black Youngster, one of Gotti's artists under Collective Music Group, jumped on Instagram and went straight at Dolph. In the now infamous video, Black Youngster questioned Dolph's right to claim the King of Memphis' title. Those comments pushed the rivalry into dangerous territory, turning it from competition into something personal. It was no longer just about music or bragging rights. Emotions were high, and the energy shifted fast. On March 2, 2016, things reportedly escalated when Black Youngsta allegedly pulled up in South Memphis, right in Dolph's neighborhood, with a large group by his side. The crew was said to be looking for Dolph, and that moment made it clear how serious the situation had become. For a while, Dolph still tried to keep things from exploding. But by March 16, 2016, it was obvious he'd reached his limit. Dolph fired back with a series of bold Instagram posts aimed at Yo Gotti. He accused Gotti of holding grudges against Memphis legends like 3-6 Mafia and 8-Ball and MJG. Those posts lit the internet up and made it clear the tension was in fading anytime soon. Then things took a terrifying turn. On February 25, 2017, news broke that Young Dolph had survived a targeted attack in Charlotte, North Carolina. Reports claimed more than 100 rounds were fired at his vehicle, a number that stunned everyone. Thankfully, Dolph was riding in a bulletproof SUV, which ended up saving his life. That incident pushed the rivalry into a whole new danger zone. Just months later, on September 26, 2017, tragedy nearly struck again. Dolph was involved in another serious incident in Hollywood, California, and was rushed to the hospital with injuries. At first, Yo Gotti was briefly listed as a person of interest by the LAPD after reports of an altercation between entourages. Within a day, police clarified that Gotti was no longer a person of interest and officially removed his name from the investigation. Instead, Corey McClendon, an associate of Gotti, was arrested and charged in connection with the incident. But in yet another twist, McClendon was released on September 28, 2017, without charges moving forward. No matter how many times names were cleared, the tension between Dolph and Gotti remained thick. For a while, things went quiet. But peace didn't last forever. 4 years later, tragedy hit Memphis again when Young Dolph lost his life in his own hometown. The loss sent shockwaves through hip-hop and left a void that could never be filled. Fans were left asking whether the rivalry, even after so much loss, would ever truly fade. Now, all eyes are on Yamarcus Johnson. Many believe his courtroom testimony could finally expose the truth and bring long-awaited answers. Maybe, just maybe, it could close a painful chapter and bring an end to years of tension that tore through Memphis.